What's up guys, FallenHobo here with a review on the DSR-1 Tactical. Now before I show you guys some actual gameplay, this is just the sway of the DSR-1 Tactical. As you guys can see, it's got really low amount of sway, so that's really good. Now supposedly the DSR-1 is the best sniper rifle in the game, and mainly because according to the stats that Nexon gives us, it says that the DSR-1 comes with 100 points in power along with 100 points in accuracy, so that's pretty much like a L96A1 with the accuracy of a M24. So supposedly the DSR is the best sniper rifle in the game, and by the end of this review hopefully we'll find out whether or not the DSR-1 is really that good or whether it's just a really big stat fail. Oh, before I continue, I'd like to thank Matrix for the mini-tage in the beginning of the video. He got some really nice clips of him using the DSR, and he thought it would fit really well with the mini-tage section that I have in the beginning of my videos. Once in a while, I will be accepting clips for the mini-tage. It's really good to have the community involved, and it's also really good to praise good efforts. So yeah, thank you very much to Matrix. And I'd also like to thank 433Blade for letting me go on his alternate account so I could review his DSR-1 Tactical. Without him I couldn't review this gun, so thank you to you too. Now moving on, the DSR-1 is a NX rare sniper rifle which can only be found in missed-end cases. It has a 5-round magazine with 20 rounds in reserve, which is 5 rounds more than the L96 series, which has 15. Now as for reload speed, it's not as fast as the M200 reload. It kind of looks sort of similar to the M107 CQSC reload, but it does reload faster than that. So in my opinion, I have to say the reload is pretty average. Now moving on to some stats, power-wise, the DSR-1 Tactical is a one-shot kill to the front and back, just like the L96 and the M107 CQ. It's pretty powerful. I've tested this gun's power on a few people, and the only tankable area seems to be the foot. Everywhere else is pretty much a one-shot kill unless the enemy has some sort of additional protection, such as a heavy vest or a tanker vest. This is, I believe, my 4th day playing with the DSR, and I must say the DSR can pull off some very consistent when it kills. No one has been able to tank a shot yet, so I think it's pretty safe to say that the DSR can pull off very consistent when it kills. Now moving on to rate of fire, I'd have to say that the rate of fire is pretty average for a bolt action sniper rifle. It's better than the L96A1 for sure, but I wouldn't say it's better than the L96A1 Black Magnum or the M24. It's pretty much somewhere in the middle between the M24 and the L96A1. Somewhere in the middle there. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. It's okay. Now moving on to accuracy, this is going to be really interesting. First I compared the DSR to the M24. As you guys can see, the DSR pretty much is accurate just like the M24. I mean, I can hit him from spawn, that's pretty accurate. Now comparing it to the L96, the DSR hits right in the head, right where I aimed it. However, the L96, it's still missing. As you guys can tell, the DSR definitely has better accuracy than the L96. But however, the DSR, an example right here, it can also fail, can also miss. So in my opinion, I don't find the DSR as accurate as the M24, but I must admit the DSR has pretty godly accuracy as well. Probably not as good as the M24, but still, compared to other sniper rifles in the game, it's pretty damn good. Now moving on to portability, according to the stats that Nexon gives us, it says that the DSR-1 Tactical comes with 47 points in portability, which is significantly higher than the L96A1, which comes with 40 points. Now I'm not quite sure if this is true or if it's just a really big stat fail, but 7 points more than the L96A1 is quite significant. It's even more lighter than the M24 according to the stats. Personally, I do believe that the DSR-1 Tactical is lighter than the L96A1, but probably not by 7 points. If it was 3 or 4 points higher than the L96, that's believable, but 7 points, I really don't think so. In my opinion, I'd have to say that the DSR-1 is somewhere close to the portability of the M24, somewhere around that. Probably not lighter than the M24, but that's my opinion. Now moving on to the recoil, the DSR-1 Tactical is a bolt action sniper rifle, and therefore you don't have to worry about the recoil. Now moving on to modifications, the only modification that you cannot add onto your DSR-1 Tactical would be a scope, since it already comes with a scope. And speaking of the scope is the exact same as the L96A1, the SR25, and the M24, the exact same scope, same level of magnification. It's also got really low amount of sway, unlike the M39 EMR. It's kind of like the L96A1, low amount of sway, and yes, that's a really good benefit of the DSR-1 Tactical as well. Now for suppressors, luckily you can attach one onto the DSR-1 Tactical. It shoots really loud, just like a M107 CQ. Once you fire, you're pretty much going to give away your location instantly, so I would totally recommend one, especially if you're a stealthy player, whether you hide or whatever. I would totally recommend a suppressor. I would prefer the S3, but it's really your choice which one you pick. And speaking of stealth, the DSR-1 Tactical comes with a black skin, so it's really good for camouflaging maps such as Dark Forest, Brushwood, or even Rattlesnake, the list goes on. And as for extended magazines, it's really up to you whether you want one or not. As I said before in the beginning of the video, it's got 5 rounds per magazine with 20 rounds in reserve, and if you feel like you need more per magazine, then by all means go for it. But be aware that the DSR-1 Tactical doesn't have the fastest reload speed of all the sniper rifles, so you have to be really cautious when deciding whether you want an extended magazine or not. Now my final words for the DSR-1 Tactical. This bolt action sniper rifle is probably the best in its class, at least in my opinion anyway. I feel that it beats the L96A1 in pretty much all aspects. I mean, it's got a better rate of fire, superior accuracy as I showed you guys in Kill Creek. It's even got better portability. I know it looks really big and bulky, but it really does feel somewhat lighter than the L96A1. Also, the DSR comes with 20 rounds in reserve opposed to the L96A1, which only has 15 rounds in reserve. And really, there's really not much to not like about the sniper rifle. I know that lots of people feel that the DSR-1 Tactical is really overrated, but in my opinion, I feel that this sniper rifle can really perform to what the stats say. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this gun. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, let's move on to shoutouts. First day shout out to Girl on the Run for a respawn token. The next day shout out to Tan Manhunter for a respawn token. And next day shout out to Captain E-Roll for a Black Kaisek key. Thank you. And next day shout out to Marashi for a respawn token. Let me activate these ones too. And next day shout out to South Park 839 for Claymore for a day. Thank you very much. And a shout out to XX Origin 18XX for a M4A1 Desert Warrior for a day. And yeah, oh wait, actually before I end this video, let me open up a Black Kaisek balls. Let's see what we get. Bonus GP pass is 100%. 10 days? What? Don't you mean 10 uses? Okay, whatever. Anyways, thank you guys.